Hi, this is Lydia from True and Unpolished, the podcast. And I want to take a minute to tell you about an amazing artist and the work that she does. Her name is Mary Howe, and she is a mindfulness coach and an artist of some of the most beautiful mandalas that I've ever seen. She has products that are available at cussculture.com/shop. I want to tell you how we use them. So she has one mandala with a quote, and it is my quote, but that's not the important part. There's this beautiful mandala, and the quote says, "To experience happiness and inspiration, we must be open to the energy of our essence." And we ordered that mandala on a sticker. And my husband, who is a contractor and in his work needs to use big machines, decided that he was going to put that sticker on the on switch to all of his machines. So that first thing every day when he goes to work, he is reminded to set that intention and to open to the energy of his essence and allow his creative spirit to flow in what he does. That is just one example of the ways in which you can intentionally use this artwork as reminders. There are canvases and pillows and mugs. I definitely have canvas. I have mugs. There are t-shirts. I'm not a t-shirt girl, but if I was, I would get them. They're amazingly beautiful. And again, it is that reminder to be intentional about our life. They can serve as a wake-up call for us in any moment. So I encourage you to go to cussculture.com/shop. And if you've been before, go again, because they are constantly adding new pieces, new artwork, new products. So cussculture.com/shop.
Welcome to True and Unpolished, the podcast, a Cuss Culture production. Through this podcast, our intention is to uplift, inspire, and amuse.
Let's get authentic. I'm Lydia Singleton.
And I'm Nicole Wilson.
And you are listening to True and Unpolished, the podcast. Hello, good morning.
Or afternoon.
Oh, it's probably afternoon. When you're listening to this, it's probably afternoon. Today, we're going to talk about aliens. So last week, we talked about the emotional scale, the Abraham Hicks emotional scale. And during that conversation, we mentioned to you aliens. And we said, oh, wait, we'll tell you about aliens someday. And guess what? Someday has arrived, everybody. We're going to talk about aliens. So, okay, wait, before you turn this off, we're not actually talking about aliens. We're not talking about extraterrestrials, everybody. So hopefully you haven't shut this off yet, but okay. So this is how this came about. Nicole and I, when we were working together years ago, she was, I love to use the Wayne Dyer quote that says the word water doesn't make you wet. It's not what you call something that gives it its substance. The recognition that these words like God and universe, I think, are synonymous with one another. And depending on, our culture, our background, where we were raised, we begin to use words. And at some point we let go of the essence of the word, of what it really means. And it just becomes about the word. And so we get really rigid on what the word for something should be, rather than just trying to get to the essence. And so we were talking about this, and Nicole said, yeah, I knew this person who would talk about aliens. They believed in aliens, they believed in extraterrestrials, and everything they said about these aliens, the qualities of these aliens, it's what I thought about God. And so I realized that they were saying aliens and I was saying God, but we were talking about the same thing. And so Nicole and I now have an ongoing joke where anytime we have different words for things, we'll go, oh, it's aliens. Because we recognized that the word is not as important, actually, not just not as important, it is actually unimportant. Like, think of how arbitrary languages and words are. And I think that a lot of our division and a lot of where we tend to believe someone else is other than us, there's Republicans and Democrats, and there's this and there's that, and there's Christians and Buddhists, and the more we get lost in that, we miss the fact that we actually all are talking about the same things. And it was interesting. Do you want to add anything in there, Nicole, before
Yeah,
I
just
jump in?
the friend that I was talking to, he was like dead set, like, I do not believe in God. He
Oh,
was
sure,
raised strict Catholic, and like God just, the word God apparently left a sour taste in his mouth.
sure.
And I knew like he believed in love and peace and kindness, and I knew his consciousness, and I just couldn't wrap my head around the fact that he didn't believe in God.
Yeah.
And we had this deep conversation, and what do you believe? And he said, well, I believe in a higher power, but I think we're here because of aliens. And that was like a huge moment for me, where I realized, like, we're talking about the same thing. Like, really, if you
Yes.
want to call it aliens, go ahead. I'm going to call it the universe or God, but it's all the same thing.
I completely relate to that too, because, I grew up in a fundamental, Christian home. And so I actually got completely opposed to, well, first of all, I embraced it totally as a kid. And at some point in my adolescence, I started to go, wait a minute, this stuff doesn't actually, no, it was actually really early on that I started to recognize that some of this stuff just didn't make sense. I didn't understand how God could be both love and jealous. Didn't make any sense to me. And, I would think about these things and I go, what is this? And so then I began to question. And when I decided that this fundamentalist belief did not fit for me, I let go of Jesus completely. I just completely let go of Jesus. I completely let go of prayer because I didn't know how to pray anymore.
Yeah.
And I didn't, and I felt like Jesus was the way that we all divided each other, and what I've come to understand is I absolutely have embraced Jesus again. I recognize Jesus as, the Son of God. And he said, not just I am the Son of God, but you are the Son of God. I believe we all are. And he was an enlightened person. He came and was here on earth and realized fully his divine heritage, his oneness with God. And I don't want to get off too much on that, but I will say that, there's a great book, and I can't remember which one it is, but she explained, I think it's How to Pray Without Talking to God. I think that's what it is. And she was talking about how she was on a plane, right? So this is I think she's a Unity minister. She's on this plane, and this guy says, sitting next to her, what do you do? I'm a minister. And he goes, oh, I don't believe in God. And she said, well, tell me about this God you don't believe in. And the God he described, she said, well, I don't believe in that God either. We both don't believe in that God, and so I think that the point to that is the recognition that sometimes we feel divided from each other, and there is no division at all. It's just words. And so if we can embrace this idea that a word has an energetic quality to it. Another way to say that is a word has a way of making us feel something. And that something that we feel, that energetic quality is what is where we can meet each other, right? And somebody this morning sent me a message and said that he's really loving this new version of The Secret. So I think it's on Netflix, everybody. And The Secret came out 15 years ago or something, the original Secret. And now there's this Netflix version, and I think Katie Holmes is on it. It's got big names on it. And I haven't yet watched it, but I'm gonna. And he was saying, oh, this was really helpful because when understanding that I create my reality and that I have the opportunity to draw to me those things that I want, he is a big visualizer. So he would visualize, but he didn't understand the power of the emotion behind the visualization. And how, did you hear that? Visual, blah, 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 blah. Emotion behind the visualization. And I was explaining to him that really a better way, and in my mind, a better way to see it and grasp it is that we draw to us what we radiate, right? So if I am being loved, so I could see a green car, right? Say I see a green car and I look at the green car And I have a memory of my dad having a green car and of riding in the car with him and really enjoying my time with him. I could see the green car, have the thought, oh, yay. And that brings about a feeling of love within me. So I then am radiating out, radiating. I'm really speaking well today, everybody. I'm radiating out love. And then that love is drawn back to me. So I get a bunch of examples of love in my life that come to me because of it. And this radiating quality is found in the essence of the word, not the word. So the green car, word green car did not mean, well, it did in this instance, the word green car meant love, right? Because that's the feeling that green car brought about. So the meaning it holds is that energetic quality, and thereby drawing it to me. I hope I didn't lose everybody. In my mind, that made so much sense.
That totally makes sense. And I think that that's like, relative words like love. Like your definition of love is going to be completely different of mine. We both know what it means.
Right.
And it's along the same lines of the same concept, but yet it's a totally different feeling and emotion behind it for each and every person.
Yeah. So love, especially, so let's say in your childhood, right? The word love was used in your family, but you grew up in an abusive home, right? So the word love for you, when you say the word love, it could actually bring about the energetic quality of fear or feeling scared. And so it's, these defining things sometimes I think I think the way to do it is by I keep using the word energetic essence, but that is it. You can feel it. Like if I'm open to you, if I am present with you and not thinking of just a story of you, the thought of you, but rather just giving you my presence, empty, open, here with you, then I can feel what you mean when you speak. Right? I can feel what you mean. And the reason why you can feel what someone means when they speak is because feelings, we're all energy. It's all energy, and it's all the energetic essence underneath. That's important. So aliens.
Yep.
Believe in aliens. Don't believe in aliens. Not important. And so what if we could do this right now, right? In this super polarized moment in our history, we're so entrenched. Every election, I think it can't possibly get more polarized. I keep thinking that, and it keeps happening. I think that's true for all of us, that we keep thinking there's no way we could become more divided, everybody. And then then it happens. And what if we could do this? What if we could drop what if we could drop even the names of the candidates and just described the person we were voting for, not their characteristics, not their name, but the energetic quality of what we're voting for. I am voting for freedom. I am voting for a better world. These kinds of energetic qualities, and you wouldn't know who the heck I was voting for, right? Because and so then you and I would be more open to each other, and we would stop trying to convince each other of something. And maybe, just maybe, we find that we actually on election day end up ticking the same box because we let go of this, this rigid stance on names and political parties and words and what they mean, right?
Yes. I was just talking this morning too about political parties and like how like I don't even know where I stand because I believe in so much of each side. Like there's so much of like, I just believe in love and happiness and everyone being able to do what they feel they're meant to do. And I don't even know what that means.
Right. Which honestly, and that's what I talked about this last Sunday, I honestly think that is the most powerful place to be. The I don't know place allows our essence, who we truly are, right? Who we truly are is not the content of our lives. So I gave the example that Eckhart Tolle gave and I hope I haven't already done this. I think I did it on Sunday. And he said, imagine you're a room. And I said to you, room, who are you? And you said, well, there are chairs and there's a table and there's a dresser and there's a lamp. And I would say, no, room. You described the contents of your room. You didn't describe who you are. Who are you? And then I added this one. And then the room would say, well, I am a place where people go and sit to eat a meal. And then I would say, no, room. That is your function. Who are you? That question, who are you? And who a room is the space in which all of that happens, the awareness underneath. And who we are is the awareness. The content of us are our thoughts, our feelings, emotions, gender, politics, or political party, race, all that stuff. That's content. That isn't who we are. We are found in the space between our thoughts. That's why pausing is so powerful. And if we just pause when listening to this political stuff, when listening to a candidate talk, if we just pause and give our presence, if we just allow them to speak and be open, then what we can know is that, and stop rushing to decide who we are or not going to vote for. And we just say, my intention is to vote love. My intention is to vote for freedom. That can be your intention. And then you just, on election day, you take your breath and you look and see whose box you're ticking, right? Whose box you're ticking. And I did it on Sunday, but it's interesting how even the thought experiment, and I said this then, and I did it myself, close your eyes, bring to mind the person that you do not want to win the election, the person you don't want to win the election. Bring it to your mind. And then I said, can you be open to them winning? Like, can you be open to it? And even in thought, like, we don't even want to go there in our thoughts. We're so rigid and we're so invested in this one thing that we don't even want to go there. The thought isn't going to make it happen or not happen, but yet we won't even allow our thoughts to go there, to open up. And so I just think, what if we did that differently? Like, what if we could, just be willing to be wrong?
I think that's the whole trick, is just the openness to the words. And like when I was talking to him, and he started an argument like, no, there is no God. There is no God. And he just kept saying that. But we are here from a higher power, which is from outer space, which to me is the universe, which is also what I call God. So it just, I was open to realizing that what we were talking about was the same, but he was very close to that specific word, God. Like, nope, that's not it. And I think just remaining open to that is really where you're going to find whatever it is you're looking for.
Yes, that's right. And it's, what I have come to see, and one of my favorite things is to listen to people who are different teachers in different realms, whether it's, Buddhist teachers or Christian teachers or mindfulness coaches or yogis, whoever it is. You can listen and you can find, oh, that's the same thing as this guy was talking about over here. And that's the same thing that this one was talking about over here. Everybody used different words, but the essence was the same. God is unchangeable, right? The essence of God, the quality that is God, has nothing to do with the word God. It's the essence, and that essence can't be changed by a word and what you call it, right? And so
the God in the blanket quote.
Oh, the God in the blanket quote. Yes. So the road manager for AC/DC, Barry, I think the name is, said that God is the name of the blanket we throw over the mystery to give it its shape. God is the name of the blanket we throw over the mystery. And isn't that it? If you get quiet with that, like the mystery, words. Oh yeah, words actually Eckhart Tolle talks about this really, really well, but the recognition that what happened is, like, you see how a child is in awe over everything, like they look around at the world and they're just amazed, and then one day we say, oh, that's a car, child, and that's a flower, child, and the label begins to cover up that mystery, that wonder of what the thing actually is. Yes, yes.
Yes.
That's why, so words, not only are words sometimes not helpful, or, or divide us, it actually keeps us from the experience of the beautiful mystery that life is, right?
Yes. The surprise of it all, because you hear the word and all of a sudden you label it right away. And
Yes,
you've already predetermined
that's right.
what your thought and feeling is on that because of the word.
That's
And
exactly right.
you're not open to the surprise of the
Yeah.
element of no expectations.
Yeah, that's so true. When I was little, I had all kinds of weird games when I was little that I did. And one of them was like I would look at something in like a lamp, and I'd start going lamp, lamp, lamp. And I'd say it over and over again until it didn't mean anything. And it was just this bunch of sounds that sounded so bizarre. Everybody, you could try that yourself if you want to. You can take that. But it's because my soul was pointing me toward this knowing that the word is meaningless, and I've even told my kids that when talking about bad words, how can a word be bad? It doesn't make any sense. We've all collectively decided that there's some bad words. So I said, this is what I say to my kids: look, somehow a bunch of people decided that that's a bad word, and so you can't say it because it upsets people.
Yep.
Can a word actually be bad? Absolutely not. How can a word be bad? How can a word be bad or good? It's a word.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And so that's it's a cool way to get back to the mystery and to let go of labels and names, and get to the essence, is to look at it through the eyes of your kid. If you're a young kid and they say, what is that? And you're trying to explain to them what it is, and you actually think about it. What is that? Like the clothes thing. Like my son said, why do we have to wear clothes? And I'll stop. See, questions can bring you to that state of essence. And I open up and I said, well, that's a good question. Why do we have to wear clothes? Well, I don't really know. It's just one of these rules that we've got, and life will be easier for you if you follow it. But it's not, it doesn't have any inherent meaning. Clothes are neither good nor bad. They're just part of the rules.
Oh, rules.
Yeah. And how would the rules change if we became open to it? Like, should we wear clothes? I don't know. Oh, we have really, really gone there today, haven't we? We're talking about being nudists now. I'm not.
But it is the rules, and like even like the whole mask and no mask debate, and like at one point somebody had to make the rule: no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Right.
Did people complain about having to wear a shirt into a store or shoes? Like all these rules started somewhere, and eventually you just grow accustomed to them. But I'm sure there's a lot of upset about them.
Yeah, but it's good to question it. Like, why do I feel this way about this rule? Who gave me this rule, and do I believe it still? Like the willingness to take a look at it. And I'll just tell you that I'll solve the mystery, everybody. No shoes, no shirt, no service was what came from the South. It definitely came from South Carolina. Like it was invented there, I'm sure. I'm telling you, it's on almost every single building, and it's because it's so darn hot there that people don't want to wear clothes.
Yeah.
So yeah, and why? Why do you need the shirt and the shoes for the service? I don't know.
Yeah.
But so
I don't know either.
But these debates, and I think that we can all agree right now. Like, I don't know anybody that likes having these arguments. Like, I don't know anybody, whether you're pro-mask, no mask, whether you're pro or Republican or Democrat. I don't know anybody that likes the election. I don't know anybody that likes the talk that comes with the election. I don't know anybody that likes to argue about the masks, so for all of our opinions, everybody, for all of our attachment to our word, whatever the word is, mask, Republican, Democrat, no mask, whatever your word is, for all of that, we actually all want the same thing, which is just stop already, to just stop this and have it be over.
stop.
Yes. Yes. Just stop. So,
Yeah.
and to me, I think the simplest thing, especially like in terms of the mask, how do I know I should wear a mask? Because they're telling me to do it. Does that mean that I should give away my freedoms? I don't think so. You know what
No.
I mean?
Yeah.
But you have to weigh them out. And then how do I know the person that is president should be president? Because they're the president. You know what I mean? Like that's Byron Katie when she says, if you argue with reality, you lose, but only 100% of the time. So, you know, there's a lot that we can let go of, I think, and in particularly around names and labels, and just get to the energetic essence behind them and be a lot happier for it.
Mm-hmm. And that's, all words come from somewhere. And it reminds me of my daughter. My daughter was born a redhead. And she always had the question, Mom, why does everyone say I have red hair? She's like, it's orange.
Oh,
And that question, so I Googled it because I wanted to know the answer. Like, seriously, why are they called redheads?
yeah.
None of your hair is really red, it's orange.
Yeah.
And that's way back in times before they even had a word for orange. Just anything in the red family was considered red. So they were redheads. And then all
Nice.
these other names for colors started coming about. And I mean, realistically, they should be called orange heads. But
Yes.
because that was decided before that word came along, it is what it is.
Oh, I love that. See, and that's another example of how kids and their questions, it is not just kids. Any question, if somebody asks a question and you'll really drop into the question instead of rushing to answer it, if you'll just say, why is that? That, like, you will find gold there. It is this, that's how you get to the mystery again, So any question, my youngest son today said, and he's asked this question before, and he said, who made the virus? He said, who made the virus? Where did the virus come from? And I said, that is a good question. Or he didn't say who made the virus. He said, who makes viruses? Like he wanted to know generally. And I said, that is a really good question. And there are people called epidemiologists who go to school for a really long time to learn about them, but there is some answer that we could find. So let's look that up. And I love it. I told him, I said, Mom loves questions. Never stop asking questions because it takes us to new places and we become open to new things and therefore open to deeper understandings and more open to each other. Right?
Absolutely. My family teases me all the time because someone asks a question that I don't know the answer to. And they're like, oh, Mom's going to Google it. And I do. And I Google it every time. And then I go through all the different possibilities of the answers and
yes,
come up with my own.
And it's I know, it's interesting. It's fun. Have
It
fun
is.
with words and labels instead of rigidly clinging to them. Like it has to be this. It has to be this. We open up to the allowing of a different word for someone else. And that's the power.
Absolutely.
Well, this has been fun as always. Thank you again to any person that is listening to this. This is such a great joy and so much fun for me and for Nicole. And we are grateful that you would listen and hang out with us during this time. Is that all you got, Nicole?
Yes, just thank you for listening. That was a great talk.
Yeah.
That was some great things that left me that I'm going to go Google when we're done.
Yes, good. Super fun. Well, this has been Lydia Singleton.
And Nicole Wilson.
And you've been listening to True and Unpolished, the podcast. Let's see what happens next.